Welcome to Northwest Arkansas Investing Podcast, your go-to source for real estate investing in Northwest Arkansas.
Whether you're a seasoned investor just starting out, we bring you expert insights, market trends, and practical strategies to help you build wealth through real estate.
From buying and selling to property management and long-term investment planning, we cover it all so you can make smart, informed decisions in this fast-growing market. Let's dive in.
So I think that's super important for us is we don't just look at a number and judge immediately. We try to figure out what happened. And a lot of the times too, when we pull these reports, we called a guy last week, right? Hey, just to let you know, your score is this, you got this going on. You have a Target card with $12 on it. And I've seen that your credit score has dropped 100 points in the past 45 days because of that. He's like, I need to have a conversation with my wife.
Yeah.
So people like that,
They're just unaware.
Yeah, they're just unaware too. So like, those are the only financial documents we'll require.
Gotcha.
And preferably people who come to us to do deals with us, we like them to have some sort of experience. That experience can be as a realtor, a contractor, have done deals themselves, have gone to real estate investing class or something where they, when they go to these investments, they understand the process.
Yep.
And I'd always recommend for somebody doing their first deal, if you don't have a contractor on board, don't try to sub it out yourself. Mm-hmm. Don't save $5,000 by spending $20,000 more.
Okay.
Yep.
It's you may know a bunch of guys who go in there and get the job done for you, but spend the extra money, make sure it's done right, make sure somebody's over there overseeing the project, and it'll pay off.
Speak to me on, Rocky, I come to you guys on a Monday, and I got this seller who's got to, we're talking need to be closed quick. Like, what's our time frame on getting closed if I'm coming to you? Like,
yeah, we can. We've got a deal at 2 p.m. before and closed it by 3 o'clock.
Crazy.
That's great.
We just need those financials.
Yeah.
We could do a quick and dirty underwrite. Very, very easy.
Rewind that real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. If title work's done, obviously we need a title policy. Yeah. But we do rush deals like that all the time. And a lot of times it's, I'm sure you guys have seen it. You work with a large hard money lending company and you get to the closing table, and next thing you know, instead of bringing 15% down, you have to bring 23% down, or the terms change. You're like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Or last minute, we can't do the deal anymore.
Yeah.
We've heard large big box companies who run out of money the day of closing, or they can't fund draws on other projects. So we get called in on the last minute to do deals. And it's like, we're happy to. The little fire drill in the office that day, but we'll get it done. I will say, you bring up a good point. A phenomenal part about utilizing financing like this is, and I don't know if I'm skipping ahead here, but
it's fine.
Essentially, I think one thing that's really important that investors truly understand is what they're paying for. For instance, I'll go to real estate, investors association meetings all the time, and you hear people talking at tables there. Hey, I got this new flip under contract. I'm so excited. It's like, oh, who did you use for financing? Like, oh, I use this company. It's like, cool. What kind of rate did you get? It's like, oh man, I got 11%. It's like, yeah, man, that's great. And then they come to us and like, what are your terms? And I tell them, and they're like, oh man, I'm getting 11 with them over here. It's way better. I'm like, well, are you? What's your processing fee? What's your draw fee? What's your appraisal fee? Yeah. They're like, well, no, that doesn't matter. I'm like, no, that's exactly what matters.
Yeah.
I can tell you that I'm giving you 5% and 2 points. That does not mean that's what you're paying. So common times working with closer private money companies, it's going to be more expensive, not just the banks, but also hard money companies. But that is where investors need to essentially get savvy and let the financing work for them. So in your situation, right, where you said, I got a deal that wants to close Monday, how quickly can you close? You got to look at the inverse way too. So if you said, hey, I have a deal that needs to close next week, it just went on the market and it's for sale for $200,000. We have clients that come to us like, hey, I'm going to offer $200,000 for a 30-day close and this and that, but I may work with this other big company. I don't want to name drop any companies. But it's like, well, what if you went to that same seller and said, I'll pay you $190K cash next week and be done? And it may be $4,000 more expensive to work with me, but I just saved you $10,000 on the purchase by utilizing the speed at which we can close.
Yeah.
So it's small things like that really allow you to maximize returns.
Right.
So I'd say, yes, we can close quickly, and we like to use that as like one of our main things of where we could help out our clients.
Yeah, that's huge.
It also gives you the edge. Like, I'm not sure how real estate was here in 2022. I'm sure it was booming, but in Nashville, where I live, if you don't have a cash offer with no contingencies, you don't even get a tour of the house.
Yeah.
So we're in a little bit of a different market right now. But I mean, you can kind of utilize that same mindset for coming in on these projects and saying, I want to get this deal done. I like the deal. I've walked with my contractor. I'm going to come in 10K less than everyone else, but I'm going to put cash in your hand next week. No contingencies. Let's rock it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I mean, just going back to folks that don't know exactly what this looks like. What can there, and you don't have to, we won't hold you to anything here, but what can they expect as far, I mean, if someone's getting 100% financed on the deal and maybe the rehab for a flip, what can they expect when it comes to rates, fees?
Based on all terms, yeah. So we're just going to be upfront about all terms. We're 13% on rate. That's annualized, simple interest. You're only paying interest on money that's out to you. So no, you're not paying interest on any undrawn funds, and 2 to 3 points depending on loan term. So like I said, we're going to be inherently more expensive than anyone else you talk to. However, our processing fee includes our BPO appraisal fee we get for our investors after close, all legal work, all that stuff. It's $575 in total. We'll never be charged another fee for us unless your loan matures, you have to extend or any items like that. We're not going to charge you $350 for a draw. We're not going to charge you for a payoff fee. We're not going to charge you $1,000 for our appraisal or $1,500 for processing or all this. So I actually started this grid because sales guys are having so much trouble trying to explain how this works.
Right.
We have grid A, grid B. They're next to each other. You plug in our financing compared to a competitor's financing. And I mean, there's often times that our financing is cheaper than a program that's 10% at one point.
Yeah.
Because once you layer in all those fees, like, I take 7 draws over this project. Here's my processing fee. Here's my appraisal fee. I'm like, that's kind of why I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
It's not about the rate. It's not about the points. It's about how much you're spending in cost on the loan program.
That's a key piece of advice for any type of real estate investing, any lending. Make sure you're looking at the fees. There's a lot of at times hidden fees. Yeah, sure, you get the rate thrown at you, but look at the different fees associated with it.
It's not all about the rate.
Yeah, it's death by 1,000 cuts. It truly is. I mean, because they seem so small at the time, and they're just like, oh, it's just a cost of doing business. But like, over and over and over again, you're kind of scratching your
Look
head.
back over a 5-year period.
Profit go.
Yeah.
So I can be honest, we're lenders. We make money, right? We provide a service, but I'd rather just kind of hit you on the back of the head one time instead of just like kicking you in the ankles every step you go. Just to put it plainly, it's just kind of how it is what it is. And we're going to be expensive, but what did they say? You get like good, quick, or cheap. You pick 2 to 3. We're very good. We're very quick. We're not cheap. And to that point, just talking about real estate in general, there's so many times where clients will come to me with a deal. Guys I've done 10, 20 deals with. I'm like, hey, we may not be the best financing partner for you on this deal. Not because I'd love to do the deal, by the way.
Right.
But I know a guy over here who might be better suited for you on this deal. I prefer my clients to get the best financing option available rather than just mine.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time mine, I think is best, but there's other times where I'm like, we can do it, man, but it's going to be a lot more expensive with us. You're not really utilizing our financing. All the benefits you have with us are kind of out the door with this said project. So it never hurts my feelings to be like, this is a better option for you. And I think majority of the time, you guys probably see this often, is every deal kind of calls for its own needs financing wise. Every deal doesn't fit one box of what kind of financing it needs. So I'd really look into that every deal, underwrite every deal. If you don't have a deal calculator, get one. They're free online. Email me. I'll send you one. I mean, it's like just plug it into these different options. Look at the stuff because, you kind of just have to follow the numbers with these deals. A lot of times people get too excited about things that don't really matter. So at the end of the day, you're doing this not for fun. You're doing it to make money. So make sure you're maximizing your ability to make money.
Yeah. I really see Rocky and them as a tool in our tool belt. I have a hard money guy. I have a commercial banker. I have a lot of secondary market bankers, and you guys speak up on this if you want to as well. But like for here locally, like where I see you guys is like I have like 3 or 4 people that come to my head right now, and like the people that are tired of the grind of secondary market lending and normal construction loans that were like, I build a home and I build it quick, and I'd love to just like, hey, here's my POF, personal financial, or PFO, PFS. Sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
Too many acronyms. But there's a lot of, and I guess you did say new construction is something that you guys play. Stuff like that. And I mean, Jared Martin and you might have a really good conversation. Jared's always finding stuff where he gets.
Yeah, I think it's super important. I think back to, a deal that we were doing a podcast. I was trying to get I was kind of in the middle of this, just a fourplex deal in Rogers, so close on the other side of town here. And I ended up being, there's 36 offers, believe it or not, on this fourplex. It was priced super well.
We offered.
Yeah, you probably did. Yeah, Brian, you probably did.
Small. Eight's probably the small.
Competition in this room. Yeah. But we had, I was 20,000 over what the offer that they ended up taking. I just wasn't willing to do cash because I didn't have the tools in my tool belt, just like you talked about. And so it took more and more conversations with bankers that I was close with at the time. Wish you were in my tool belt at that time because we would have utilized it. But eventually, it didn't happen until after we missed on it, that this banker that I wanted to use said that we could have just offered cash and I would have refinanced you out and you would have won it.
Thanks, brother.
So yeah, it's just you don't know that.
Too late.
Thanks. Yeah.
Well, you don't know those until you start diving into deals. Number one, but also to meeting guys like you and hearing about okay, I could win this deal because of speed and because of cash and surety of close.
You could even give it, it reminded me when I first got started in the smaller I would give them, hey, I buy traditional financing here, but if you seller finance, I'll pay a higher price. So the same token here, hey, yeah, I could close your property in 60 days, but I could also close it in 10 days, but you're gonna have to do a price discount, and they might be incentivized to have that discount
for sure. Yeah, well,
before too.
A lot of times too, and I'm sure you're a broker, you've seen it before. Somebody falls in love with a house, but then appraisal comes back or an inspection comes back, or they decided to go and buy a car 25 days into escrow.
Yeah,
and now they can't close at the bank, and they have to restart the process and stage the house again. It's like
they might throw it back on the market.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. It's like I'll take the money now. I'll just be done. It's kind of like when you win the lottery. It's like, do you want to wait and get yearly payments or just take the money now? Sometimes a buyer will just be like, I know what kind of product I have. I'm done. I'm good, which caps off to them.
Yeah.
They're willing to risk it. I'm sure I don't know the statistics. I'm sure 70 to 90% of transactions that are escrow end up closing, but you never know. You get caught up in that wash and sometimes you're willing to take a little less.
Yeah, I love that. So just thinking about when you're helping others underwrite like a normal flip, are you, if they're saying we feel like we can get this done in 3 or 4 months, does the carrying cost of what they should expect from you, is that part of your underwriting as well? Or
sure.
Yeah. Because I know you mentioned I wouldn't recommend that we do this deal or whatever.
Well,
I'm sure that
I think
kind of plays into
a lot of times that does play into it. We looked at one this morning before I came in here, and you look at somebody's financial health. That's why we asked for that PFS. And I'll get on the phone with somebody. I'm like, this looks like a great deal. You're putting about $60,000 into this. I'm like, maybe instead of a base hit, let's bunt on our first one. You only have about $30,000 liquid after closing cost and full term interest and your rent and your other things going on. Are you sure this is financially responsible? Or other side of the coin, this is not financially responsible. You should go partner up with somebody who has some cash. And you guys could grow together. And if you guys want to split off in the end, split off, or you stay together. A lot of times, I'm afraid that people get bad advice or they get good advice with the wrong intentions hey, I got to get into this. Like, yes, you should, but make sure you understand what you're getting into. Make sure you understand the cost associated with it. Because it could get sloppy quickly. And then when it gets sloppy, that's when you start seeing people, let's say on a deal, they're like, hey, instead of putting the correct drywall in the ceilings and putting the right insulation in there, we're gonna skip that, cut that corner, and now you have a really bad product. When you have a bad product, I'm sure as you will see or you've seen, why is it sitting on the market for 120 days when average days on market is 35?
Yeah.
So you're saving $5,000 to spend 20 more, and then you're like, my cash is running out. I don't know what to do. So it's like we try to look at it the same way we talked about earlier. Make sure you're able to get through this project. Make sure you're able to find a way out. You have enough capital to get through it. If you don't, Let's make sure the property is probably going to debt service on a refinance. If you have to refi, sometimes we look at credit scores and we're shaky about an ARV. We'll see what's the ability for them to refi. Below a 640, 620 credit score, not likely.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to be very comfortable with that ARV. So we look at different avenues of that because we don't want to put anyone in a bad position.
Yeah.
Plus, if they get in a bad position, what happens to us?
Yeah.
We're in bed with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
People are like, oh, well, you guys just want to take the property back. No, we don't. Have you ever taken a property back? It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's really not fun at all. It's a long bureaucratic legal process. It's just a massive headache. I'd rather, and people are like, oh, you can make some money off of it. It's like, man, I'd rather make little bits of money on every single deal than make like a little bit more on when we take
Time
back.
suck.
Oh, it's a massive time suck. We could have done 15 deals in the time it took for me to deal with this deal.
Yeah.
And it, we probably break even on in the end, to be honest.
What would be a good way, like for the deals that you've seen not work out, what would you say some advice is, like lessons learned from these guys that are having the deals not go well?
Don't cut corners. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. Don't cut corners. And right now, I think the main problem with some properties that are stagnant on the market is floor plan. Floor plan is super, super important. We have a deal sitting on the market right now. It comps at $280,000 all day. Property 2 doors down, 300 less square feet, not even close to the renovation job of our property, sold for $295. We haven't got one offer. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath. The bathroom's in the kitchen. The bedroom's on the other side of the house. You don't want to take a shower and walk in your towel through the kitchen. We were unaware that the borrower changed the floor plan to that. We're still unsure why he did it. It is what it is at this point. We're not going to spend. That's what I'm saying. So we also do a lot of deals in Columbus, Ohio, and traditionally there's a lot of these like 1920 builds in Columbus that are 3-bed, 1-baths with 1 bedroom downstairs, 2 bedrooms up, and the only bathroom is downstairs. It's like, do you really want to walk to the stairs in the middle of the night? Your resale value is almost 30% higher if you convert that 3rd bedroom into a bathroom upstairs. So floor plans is like the number one thing I'd say that people are having issues with right now. So cutting corners of floor plans.
Yeah.
It's a weird floor plan. I promise you walk through your significant other and your family. If there's something weird, they're not going to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are allowed to be a little picky.
Makes sense. What are some other rookie mistakes that you see outside of something like that?
Oh, man. I'd say,
I think you talked about it earlier too. The exit plans, it kind of had me, my wheels turning on like some of the stuff, having multiple exit plans and the shorter time thing.
Yeah, I'd say understanding your exit plans is one thing rookies need to be looking at. Outside of floor plans and cutting corners, I maybe say comp selection. Comps drive every single decision we make. We look at like, let's say like this is a neighborhood right here, and we look at comps in here. They're pulling 2 comps over here. They're like, but look at this. I'm like, I don't care about anything west of that main street. That is obsolete. When I have 3 properties in the past 3 months with your same square footage and style that sold right here. Like, I know, but that I'm like, I don't care about.
Well, it's like,
it's not personal.
That they change the oil on the street, and that they have a POA. So like, and it's just
we see stuff like that too, and like, a lot of times in Charlotte, North Carolina, we do a ton of business there. We see a lot of tri levels and split level houses. Inherently, your comps need to be tri levels or split levels. Same thing with siding versus brick. Sometimes you can be like, well, there's a brick come, maybe we'll deduct a little bit of value because we're siding and that's brick, or vice versa. Driveway versus no driveway is massive. Garage versus no garage is massive. So there's small things. When we push back, you'd be shocked at how many times we told a client, you're buying this for $15,000 too much. They go back to the wholesaler, they go back to the seller. Seller's like, okay, we'll change the price to get it done. And they get mad at us. I'm like, dude, I just saved you $15,000. I don't know what you want me to do here. But I think comp selection is probably the biggest rookie mistake we'll see. And when we give you feedback, I'm not saying we're wrong. I would love for you to close on that deal, call me in 6 months and be like, you're dumb, I told you so. I would be like, that is amazing. We're just, again, trying to help newer investors hedge your risk.
Right now in this market, what are you funding that's y'all's favorite right now?
I say as of right now, my favorite is seeing investors get super creative. For instance, in Nashville, we actually do not finance deals there for a variety of reasons. But Nashville's a great real estate market if you want to do deals there. I'm not saying it's bad. We just can't for other reasons. There are these things called HPRs, horizontal property regimes, where essentially you'd buy a piece of land, you'd redevelop into 2 lots and build 2 tall and skinny houses. It really helped us with our need for housing in Nashville. That is pretty much obsolete now because every single real estate developer in the single family space has bought every single one of those lots. And there's maybe like 70 remaining that 20 companies call every single day. I'm seeing it a lot in the upstate in South Carolina. People are picking up, acre pads, splitting them, keeping the main house, maybe even putting the main house right back on the MLS, selling the dirt, developing the dirt. Strategic deals like that I'm really enjoying right now because in every emerging market, there's a need for housing, right? Your supply is super low. Your demand is high. Nobody's selling because they all have 2.5% rates.
4 months, 4.5 months of supply.
Yeah. 4 to 5 months of supply.
Yeah.
So finding ways to get creative. I mean, you go build a big tract neighborhood. I've seen 20 of them driving around in the past 24 hours. But saying, hey, here's a 1 acre parcel, talking to your local zoning committee and saying, what can I do here? And they say, oh, well, depending on the setbacks, this and that, you can subdivide it and get another lot. Or I could subdivide it, put $40K into the main house, renovate it, sell that, then also sell this lot for 2x what I'm in for it to the other guy. And it's a great way to maximize on deals. I just say creativity. Traditionally, I'll always just love the fix and flips that are clean cut deals. But,
Stuart was talking about that on our last podcast about parceling out land, getting it buying a bigger piece and then getting it zoned. There's a lot of, as I'm doing more of these development deals, the same thing, multiple exit strategies. My intention is to fully develop it into 100, 200 unit multifamily apartment complex, but taking the raw dirt and then, getting it entitled and getting it, doing some civil and getting it closer to the finish. There's a lot of value in that because you're taking the risk out for the next investor. So there's a ton of money. There is another exit there, and it's a shorter term strategy. Some people just do that. Some people are just flipping. And parceling.
Horizontal work. Oh man, there's a massive business for that. We get inquiries on that all the time in Northern Alabama. But yeah, just say looking at every deal with a fine tooth comb, finding different ways you can and can't make money on it. I think it's super beneficial in the long term. Like I said, strategies flip on a dime. There's no reason yours can't. But yeah, I'd probably say that's probably my favorite deal right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Your ideal guy that comes to you or gal that comes to you and has a flip deal, what do they bring into the table? You mentioned a little bit of it before, but ARV, maybe they're bringing what they're planning to do to the property, but what personal financial statement, anything else that if someone wanted to bring you a deal and get it done quickly, what should they have?
See that they have liquidity to be able to float payments and start the construction process for draws. I'd like to see that they could speak intelligently on why they picked a neighborhood to invest in. We get it all the time where people's like, well, my wholesaler said this is a good neighborhood. I'm like, well, I'm sure it is, but why do you want to do a deal in that neighborhood? A lot of times you talk to investors and there's a reason why they work in that neighborhood. Well, new school zoning, new this, new that. I like to see the change. They're putting in a new park in this neighborhood. Have a reason for why you want to be in that neighborhood. Don't just cherry pick it because the comps are good. I said those are the 2 most important things: liquidity and understanding of why they want to do that deal.
Well, you almost want to, when I'm going to a bank and me and a lender just did this that are teaming up on some affordable housing for Northwest Arkansas. We're going to a bank, and what I used to call it when I was in printer sales is you block your exits. And so reverse engineering it from, hey, what if I'm in your position? What would I be asking to me? And going through and almost underwrite. I think for y'all would probably see a lot of value if someone kind of pre-underwrote it themselves. And, if I just send you something and I'm like, oh, this came up on the market, what do you think? Here's this, this, and this, but it's like a trash deal. Those emails that I keep sending, they're going to start getting flicked up really quick. And so if I'm able to underwrite that, block some exits, go, hey, here's a niche in the market that I'm seeing, and here's why I think that, and here's the data that backs it up. And you're almost like a business proposal as an email or something like that to you.
Sure, yeah.
That's what you want.
We have one guy in South Carolina who sends us, it's beautiful. It is stunning.
You're presenting a business.
I have no questions, no notes, no questions. I'll let him know within an hour if we could work with him. And we did, I think when we started working with him, we approved 8 deals for him in 12 days.
That's
I'm like, crazy. Yeah, I didn't have any questions. We a lot of times we'll do a loan committee. I'm like, well, what do we doing here? Like the deal looks good, but like, let's make sure we're all on the same page. So like, that's why I said 2 to 3 sentences of strategy minimum. If you want to go further, great. But yes, you are pitching business. It is a business. It's you're investing money in something to make money. That's I think it could be like a definition of a business. Right? Yeah, you're creating a product.
Exactly.
I love it.
Said don't fear the rate, fear missing the opportunity. And I think that's something that I think Henry and Jared's talked on that before.
Yeah.
I mean, the opportunities, I mean, the rates are the rates, but the opportunity will make you money.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I think kind of backs into what we talked about previously about the rate isn't the guiding light.
Yeah.
How good a deal is or isn't.
Yeah.
Right. The associated costs are. The same thing. Talked about the opportunity with that Quanplex, right? Even if you did know who I was, let's say I was maybe too expensive for you, or you had another true private lending company. Let's say they're tapped on cash. Maybe I'm more expensive, but you just missed out on a great opportunity.
Yeah.
If you would have, wrote out a financial model for that deal, and let's say it was $3,000 more expensive to work with throughout the course, right? Be like, yeah, I'm happily pay $3,000 more if I got it a below market rate deal, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a very true quote. I said that's a smart guy.
Give us like a minute on you guys. If someone's listening to this, they want to use you, tell them how to contact you, things of that nature.
Of course.
There's Rocky Feinberg and Windstone, correct? Windstone is coming into this market with private money. So listener listening, here's how to get in contact with them.
Yeah. First off, we're very excited to be here. We've been following you guys in your market for about a year now, and we've had intentions of coming here to, help you guys scale and a bunch of investors get you guys suited with financing that maybe you haven't had before. You can contact us on our website. It's probably the easiest way. That's windstonepl.com. On there, you'll find the contact information for our sales team, our operations team, my contact information. The only other way is through email. That is windstonepl@info.com, or sorry, info@windstonepl.com. That'll go to our generic email account, which has myself on it, my 2 other partners, and our 2 other executives on there. So we get a lot of inquiries on there as well. Or you can just shoot me a text. You see my number on the website. I'm a pretty laid back guy. I don't mind talking. I probably talk to every single one of our clients on a first name basis. We like to keep it, more of a family office environment, even though we're kind of outgrew that. Kind of like to keep that personal touch. So when you have a deal, you can call me to ask a question about a payoff or a closing timeline. You don't have to worry about going through a salesperson who has to ask their manager, then go up to the VP. We try to just keep it very, organic from a conversational flow. That's the easiest way to reach out to us. We don't have social media, maybe coming soon. Kind of talking about no marketing, but
well, we want to thank you guys too they are our biggest sponsor on this podcast. So thank you, Windstone. Of
course.
Yeah, Rocky, we appreciate your time, and again, I just wanted to hit that. I think it's so important that having as many tools in your tool belt as possible is so important as a real estate investor. And Rocky is a great tool, and I think we're excited to continue to learn about kind of what you have, and obviously we get to learn a lot during this episode. So I think a lot of guys can take a lot away from it. So
a lot of good takeaways, whether you're doing a lot of flipping in and out, how people look at deals, how institutional investors look at deals, how private monies look at deals, different exit strategies, presenting a deal, making sure you're presenting a deal thoughtfully, organized well. So appreciate your time and sponsorship.
Of course. Well, hey, thank you guys for having us here.
Love it. Let's go eat.
Let's go eat.
Appreciate y'all listening. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Love you guys. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and list some sponsors off here. We're going to start with Windstone Private Lending. This episode is brought to you by Windstone Private Lending, one of the top private and hard money lenders now serving Northwest Arkansas. Whether you need short-term capital for a flip, a bridge loan, or creative financing, they've got you covered with very flexible products to fit nearly any deal, including 100% financing. What sets them apart is their deep expertise, fast response times, and ability to think outside of the box to help investors like us close quickly and efficiently. If you're looking for a real lending partner, check out Windstone Private Lending. Link is in the show notes. Our next sponsor is from Flat Branch Mortgage, specifically Colton Kennedy. Colton and I personally do business together, and he's a wonderful lender here in the Northwest Arkansas corridor. Want to invest in real estate or purchase a home, but feel like you need a secret decoder ring to understand the process? You're not alone. First-time investors, house hackers, and future homeowners, Colton Kennedy has you covered. Colton Kennedy with Flat Branch Home Loans helps people like you break into the real estate market without the guesswork. Think of him as your mortgage strategist, helping you turn "I wish I could" into "I just did." You bring the vision, he'll bring the lending game plan. Let's make your first investment a smart one. Colton Kennedy with Flat Branch Home Loans. Contact him today by calling 417-437-0086 or emailing C as in cat, K as in Kimberly, ENNEDY at Flat Branch Home Loans. That's FBHL.com. That's 417-437-0086 or emailing CKENNEDY at FBHL.com. Thank you so much, Colton. So our next sponsorship is 1440 Photography. 1440 Photography is a local company here. I love getting local companies to sponsor this podcast. They're local. They do great service, and personally, I can speak that they do a great job on mine and my clients' stuff. If you're an investor or agent in Northwest Arkansas, you need 1440 Real Estate Media in your corner. They're not just photographers. They're real estate market experts, and it's the only thing they do. MLS photos, drone, video, Matterport, whatever your listing needs, they've got it. Everything is a la carte, and it's totally customizable. And here's the best part. Just book online whenever works for you. They confirm and show up ready to go. Fast, easy, done. Where quality meets speed. Book now at 1440photography.com. Our next sponsor is Advantage Title and Escrow. They're a local company. They do great work. Specifically, Kayla Phillips. I can speak personally on this sponsor because I use Kayla for all of my transactions. It's been 2, 3, 4 years now, and Kayla and I have done a ton of deals. We probably do between 65 to 80 deals a year together, and they do a great job. The SOPs, so systems and processing that they have over Advantage Title, is just incredible. Clients love it. They do a great job from start to end communicating. When I give a deal to Advantage Title and Escrow, I know that it's going to be taken care of. There's no second guessing. I almost am able to treat them like a second transaction coordinator to my transaction coordinator that I already have. I know that they're going to handle the systems and processes correctly. As an agent, as a homeowner, as a buyer or seller, they do an incredible job of handling a transaction and communicating throughout the process. They do a great job with communication, especially Kayla Phillips over there. I would highly encourage you, if you're looking to close on a home, buy a home, if you're an agent listening, to use Advantage Title and Escrow, specifically Kayla Phillips. So you're going to reach Kayla best at 501-358-1601, or you can email her, Kayla, Cayla, at goadvantagetitle.com. Advantage is ADVANTAGE title.com. Our next sponsor is TDS IT. That's T as in Tim, D as in document, S as in solution, I as in information, T as in technology. This one hits personal. It's close to home. My dad, Tim Stanley, runs TDS IT, and he decided to sponsor our podcast. So I can speak from personal experience. I've been able to work for my dad in the past as well. And they're a great solution for business technology. If you're a local business owner or even out of state, if you're running a business, need printers, need information IT services, if you need phones, scanners, printers, all the way up to, you're printing books to, hey, we just need something in the office. TDS IT is that spot. They provide the best in-brand business technology with proven best in local service, and they can prove it.
Special thanks to one of our sponsors who I've worked with personally on multifamily commercial loans as well as business acquisitions. People's Bank works with entrepreneurs, investors, deal makers, and risk takers. They're the ones who see opportunities where others see obstacles. Whether it's a vacant lot with a plan for a thriving business or making an old space new, they work with creators who think big and are not satisfied with the status quo. People's Bank helps you build Arkansas deal by deal and brick by brick. They don't just see numbers on a spreadsheet. They see your passion and vision. People's Bank. It's where people come first. member FDIC. If you're needing loan assistance, reach out to Dakota at 870-883-1706 or DHEDDEN@peoplesbankar.com.
If you enjoyed the show, make sure to give us a follow on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an update.
Don't forget to connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn for more real estate insights and behind-the-scenes content.
Have a question you want us to cover? Send it our way. And if you're interested in sponsoring the show, visit nwainvesting.com to get in touch. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.